Welcome to Rock Club's record album review of Bad Company Straight Shooter. My name is Kevin Z, and I'm a lifelong musician and music fan. I'd like to think that I've gained some musical wisdom over my 50 years of listening to, performing, and studying music from among my many favorite artists. Now, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to my Rock Club music channel, as I intend to review another monumental album each week. Now, I grew up with classic rock bands like Led Zeppelin, Boston, and Kiss. I watched as new wave bands like Duran Duran hit big on MTV and television shows like Friday Night Videos. I witnessed the evolution of 80s alternative rock and hair metal and the rise of grunge. Now, I'll give you my perspective on epic rock albums spanning across these years. I hope I can pass some of this knowledge along to my daughters, Sky and Ava, whose playlists include tunes from my album collection and also my first generation iPod here. Also, folks from work who heard my playlist songs, many of them for the first time, and commented how today's music had changed so much and how Generation Z can benefit from my knowledge of these great artists and bands. So I'm reviewing artists' albums in their formatted order as they're intended to be listened to. So keep in mind, these are my opinions. Feel free to comment, agree, or disagree. So let's begin. What do you get when you put together a super group of late 60s, early 70s musicians who all write amazing songs and then release their albums on a record label created and owned by another late 60s, early 70s supergroup? Well, the answer is you get Bad Company. In 1973, Led Zeppelin and their manager Peter Grant had taken the world and the US by storm. They were touring constantly, and over the previous 4 years, they had earned boatloads of cash. Now, being the brilliant businessmen that they were, Jimmy Page and Peter Grant knew they needed to reinvest their hard-earned money in order to avoid paying crushing British income taxes. So they created their own record label, and they named it Swan Song. They needed to sign a new bands to their fledgling record label, and they wanted only the best talent. So enter Paul Rodgers and Simon Kirke from the recently disbanded British blues rock band Free. They had already made a household name for themselves with a couple of rock classics, All Right Now and Wishing Well. Combine them with veteran Mott the Hoople guitarist Mick Ralphs and ex-King Crimson bass guitarist Boz Burrell, and you've got yourself a bona fide supergroup. Now, their first self-titled album, Bad Company, would introduce them to an adoring rock fan base and achieve instant FM radio success with hits like the self-titled Bad Company, Can't Get Enough, and Ready for Love. But with their second studio album, Straight Shooter, Bad Company would cement their success as one of the best rock bands of the 70s. Released March 28th, 1975, Straight Shooter treated listeners to 8 fantastic songs, with songwriting credits being spread amongst 3 of the 4 band members, with one of the greatest rock vocalists of all times, Paul Rodgers, as the frontman on lead vocals. He also played guitar and piano. Mick Ralphs on guitar and keyboards, Boz Burrell on bass guitar, and Simon Kirke on drums. Bad Company would tour the world and achieve superstardom. In an interview, Paul Rodgers once described their touring as traveling above the clouds on private jets, staying above the clouds in hotel penthouses, and coming down to perform on stage with their heads still in the clouds. The album opens with the barn burner, Good Lovin' Gone Bad. It's credited to Mick Ralphs. This was also the first single released off the album. Here, Paul Rodgers quickly lets you know that he has one of the most iconic voices in rock music. Great guitar solo by Mick Ralphs, very melodic bass line by Boz Burrell, and there's tasty in the pocket groove drumming by Simon Kirke. Track 2, side 1, was also the second single released off the album, Feel Like Makin' Love. It was credited to Rodgers and Ralphs. It was a huge hit for the band. The tune starts in an acoustic ballad mode with nice sing-along harmonies. Then the dynamics change And as the chorus kicks in with this heavy electric guitar, there's this wild electric guitar soloing on the outro by Mick Ralphs. This tune really helped make Paul Rodgers very popular with the ladies. And there are always plenty of beautiful ones in attendance at Bad Company shows. Track 3, side 1, Weep No More, is a song written by drummer Simon Kirke. He had 2 songs off the album. It opens with a nice string orchestra part and transitions to a bluesy shuffle. In addition to singing lead vocals, Paul Rodgers plays piano on this song. The production value is superb. Track 4, side 1, Shooting Star, would become an anthem, one of the biggest Bad Company hits and a staple on FM radio to this day. Written by Paul Rodgers, it's the story of Johnny, a young schoolboy who dreams of becoming a rock star. After achieving superstardom, Johnny falls victim to rock and roll excess. Paul has said it was inspired by the life of Jimi Hendrix, amongst other rock stars whose lives unfortunately ended too soon. And the chorus goes something like this. You may remember hearing it. Don't you know that you are a shooting star? Don't you know? Don't you know that you are a shooting star? As long as you are. Track 1, side 2 is the grooving Deal with the Preacher. It was written by Rodgers and Ralphs. There's this great guitar riff by Mick Ralphs. Here, Paul Rodgers writes of being in love, but not being able to seal the deal and get married. I've been there and lived that for sure. There's this fantastic outro section with the band absolutely jamming on this tune. It is a great song and a favorite of the band to play live. Track 2, side 2, is the funky rocker Wildfire Woman. Written by Rodgers and Ralphs again. Paul Rodgers breaks out the tambourine on this tune. There's this nice slide guitar part and the keyboard work by Mick Ralphs. The chorus is huge, and Rodgers sure gives us his soulful best singing. It's really a feel-good song. Track 3, side 2, is it's my favorite on the album. It was written by drummer Simon Kirke. It's the song Anna. This is a wonderful love song. Paul Rodgers' amazing vocals really sell the song and make it special. It goes something like this. Got a sweet little angel, I love her so. There when I need her, she always there when I say no. And in the night, when she says hold me, makes me feel so strong. Living with her unfolding gives me strength to carry on. 'Cause I don't need nobody else. And if I did, I would be fooling myself. Oh, Anna, something like that anyway. The last song on the album, Call on Me, has a sort of a mysterious sounding piano part in the intro by Paul Rodgers. His piano theme is then played throughout the song. Nice guitar solo by Mick Rouse. The band has a great groove in the outro with the rhythm section of Kirk and Burrell holding down the fort and Rouse soloing over the top. Bad Company Straight Shooter was the album that made the band a true supergroup of the 70s, selling over 3 million copies in the United States alone and cementing Paul Rodgers as one of the best rock vocalists of them all. Thanks for tuning in, and look for more Rock Club record album reviews in the near future. Peace.